You are the chosen one.
Hello and welcome back once again to Chosen One Studios Let's Play of Ys. I'm your hostess Cariiiin, and once again we're playing Ancient Ys Vanished Omen. Last time I realized at the very end that I'd forgotten a chest. So, there's a necklace and it has been obtained. It's another item that we can sell off to Pim, even though we have, some of the best store-bought stuff that we can get. The best store-bought sword, and best store-bought armor, better than store-bought shield. We're going to get every single item, because that's what I do. So, after the break, we're going to reappear back in Minia, and do some quick buying and selling, and then we'll meet back up in Zeptic. So, I'll see you after the cut. And we're back in Pim's pawn shop. And he's asking if we need anything. That little snicker of his to sell off the necklace. So this is a pretty worn out necklace. Also the jewels are tiny and there are a lot of flaws. Still will give you a decent price. Buy it for 550 gold, which is still more than he'd normally buy it for, so works for me. We already still have the mirror from him. And actually I bought the mirror before, but I didn't show you why I bought it, because I'm not going to need it in battle. But I am going to need to show you one little cool effect it has. Just gonna go over here. All those people all confused, saying, "What the hell was that? Did I drink too much? What the?" That's the real reason to have that. I can't really read this Book of Ys, because as you'll see, I'll open the Book of Ys, but he was unable to read the strange language. But we should have opened that up already. It's kind of a fun thing to have. So, you may be wondering, why are we going over here when we've already got the best shield that there is? Well, because we're going to want that later. This one is made of solid steel, it's very durable, stand up against any attack the demons throw at you. But 6,000 gold. And yeah, we're going to need every little cent of that. I'm also going to do plate mail while we're here. And see here, I think the middle shield we can afford that too. Perfect. And that means we go into here and we have everything we can currently buy. The middle shield is a leather-lined shield of medium size. It's light and very durable. Large shield is a large steel shield. It's heavy, hard to handle, but offers great defense. Of course, still our steel shield. And our plate mail is made of steel plating. Reliable, but with a high stamina requirement. But we already have reflex, so it's not really a problem. Mostly I just want to get all those to fill up our inventory, and because, well, we need it to be here anyway. If it's the price I think it is, we're going to go over and we're going to buy that wing really quick, since we're not going to have a lot of use for money. So we're just going to go and buy that now, because we can't have multiple mirrors. It's only 200 gold, so even though we probably won't ever end up using it, except to show it off, probably, we now have as many items as you can possibly have at this point in the game. As you can see, there are two things over here, but don't you worry, we will find everything. So now we're going to go down and take a look at Sarah's place, because she was the one that told us to see Aunt Jeva, but she's not here, which is usually a bad sign. Franz, you are adult, are you not? I'm afraid I have bad news. Sarah was murdered, but we don't yet know who did it. That poor woman. Please take this book. She gave it to me shortly before her death. Book of Ys was received. She smiled and said that if anything ever happened to her, that I should give it to a red-haired swordsman named Adol. I thought she was joking, but I hadn't even considered that she was a fortune-teller. I should have taken her more seriously. Ah yes, it seems with her dying breath she muttered, "To the abandoned mine." I feared that you might understand if she was trying to tell you something. So, we now have two Books of Ys. First was the Book of Huddle, this is the Book of Tova. These two are rewards for fighting those two bosses, so it only makes sense. And oh yeah, that's a very powerful sword that he's mentioning. And we'll get that in due time. But for now, there's nothing more to do here in Minia. As you'll guess, Rastin Mine is going to be up next, but first we're going to take a short little segue over to Zeptic. So I'll join you after the cut. And welcome back. Here we are back in Java's place. And there they are together. Notice that pendant around her neck? Kinda special looking, isn't it? Kinda familiar. Fina says, Adel. Jeva says, don't worry about Fina. She's feeling just fine. Her fever wasn't serious. It was just a result of extreme fatigue. I'm sorry, Adel. I can't believe I just collapsed like that. I never even said thank you. So I will say it now. Thank you for helping me. What will you do? Talk to Jeva. I will be looking after this girl for a while. I think some of the area's less savory inhabitants have taken an unhealthy interest in her. And, well, look at her. I would too. What will you do? Talk to Fina. Why would I be imprisoned in such a place? I just don't know. All I can remember is the prison and my own name. Whenever I really try to focus and remember it, I get a really bad headache. Jeva again. She'll be looking after her for a while. And we don't really have a lot else to do here. But if you recall, we do have a mine to get to. So, we're going to go and we're going to do that. And you'll meet me inside of the mine. And here we are, outside of the Rastin Mine. To Rastin Mine. So what are we going to do? We're going to go to the Rastin Mine. Right through here. The abandoned mine. With these giant creepy creatures. Yeah. You might also notice that my health is almost at full across the bar, as in almost max. This game has a very low level cap. It's only 10. But that's just for 1. 2 does start you out from scratch, unless you're playing the TurboGrafx version. And so I will be regaining those levels, and with a much higher cap in East 2. You get well over level 20 when you're this far in that game. But this is a tricky dungeon in that it's dark. You can't see very far in front of you. Those things are called new bros, by the way. And we're just going to be trying to kill them to get their information. And we found another heal potion. You know, I was actually thinking about picking up one of those in town, but looks like we don't have to. Those are question mark snakes, question mark person. There are some items of interest we need to make sure we get before we leave this place, or else I'm going to be quite unhappy. And that's not a good thing. We're also probably going to need to hit max level before the boss at the end of this place is, well, tolerable, unfortunately. This boss of this place is Vagulion. His main strength is that he has the power to turn into a bunch of bats and be unhittable until he decides it's time for him to turn back to normal, which is kind of frustrating. If you watched the time trial that Songs in the Morning did, you'll see that he can really take up your time. But we just got a little gift. The silver armor. Which you'll see, beautifully made silver armor. Protects the wearer with holy magic. So now we're only missing one piece of silver equipment. The silver sword. Which we actually get the key ingredient to getting here inside of the mine. Because it's not in a shop. It's not in a dungeon. It's actually being held by a very, very friendly piece of greenery. We just need to wake it up, which is part of what we're doing right now. Well, sort of, in a way. This, like, going here doesn't wake it up, but we'll be finding what wakes it up while we're here. In fact, timer ring was obtained. This is a nice, wonderful little piece of equipment. It slows enemy movement to half normal speed. Oh, by the way, these things are called Graels. With this on, you'll notice that enemies seem a little bit daft around the edges compared to before. It's not like a huge benefit. It doesn't make the enemies completely pointless, at least not any more than having high level and endgame equipment does, such as what we have right now. Because the silver armor is pretty darn awesome, even if there is one set stronger than it. Just ruined that. But plot-wise, this is the strongest armor, because the plot really doesn't seem to care about the other set. And this is probably as much grinding into those as I should do. I'm actually trying to make sure I don't miss any items, just because Since this place is so dark, and I don't have a memory perfect for this place. The DS version actually did this place a great service by adding a map and making it less dark. But I'm going to do myself a service by actually, re-equipping the power ring. Power ring's good for everyone. Makes me full of power. Which means things die in one hit. That doesn't matter against bosses, by the way. You can wear or not wear any of those enhancement rings. Doesn't really do you any good at all. So, yeah, this place is a little bit long, mostly because of the lost factor that's built into it. You're not really supposed to have an easy way of finding yourself through here, which is why they give you that health potion, because normally you'd be like leaving places a lot more often, but they don't anticipate you wanting to go all the way back outside at any point. Here we have a gorgeous background. I mean, just look at that background. And that little bucket there in the foreground, and this is a gorgeous mine. And here we are, still going around, but here, there's something else we can get. Up here? Oh, that's the way down to floor 2, which I'm pretty sure we actually need to take at this point. So, it's going to go down, and I'm going to save, because those guys are creepy looking. Giant mouths with a tongue flicking out. On the DS port, they're huge. It's totally creepy. They're not any harder. Well, they are in the way that most things got harder, but they're not like destroy everything frightening. It's more just the fact they're so different looking. Well, they're so huge, rather. Yeah, this is a very stressful part of the game because you don't really know where you are in relation to anything. It's a new area, and lots of powerful enemies are here. Oh, crap. Yeah, see why I saved? I do. Yeah. Keyboard mishap? My fault, but still a keyboard mishap. Since we are only 2 levels off from the max level, there likely will be a little bit of grinding, just because I like having that bar filled up. But it's not the kind of grinding that, and it may or may not warrant another video. I forget how you're supposed to get that guy out of there, though, because there is something back there I really want to get. May just not be able to get to it yet. Or you may have to take a different path, because I'm pretty sure if I smack into that thing, I'll die. It's worth checking out, but still. You know, let's save again. I know I'm being stupid, since I should probably just pop that health potion, but I don't feel like it. Well, that was incredibly stupid. No one would have seen that coming except for the person who just said, whoa, if I attack that thing, I'll probably die. But I didn't that time, and what item will reward me? The heal ring, which could not have come at a better time. As you can see, heal ring purifies and brings the body to peace, which means I'm just going to sit here for a couple seconds while my health regenerates. Yep, that's the whole point of the heal ring. It restores your health while you're just sitting around. So, in fact, you might even hear a little bit of typing in the background. I'm just going to say hi to my fellow member of Choose One Studios, Jenna Trias, because she's pretty darn awesome. Let's see here. Yep, and as you see, the health does restore kind of slow, so it is a little bit boring. But if you move, it stops, and I want to have a little bit higher health. Excuse me. So I'll wait till it maxes out, and I won't do it again. Maybe. This place is kind of hard.